What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another day here on the farm vlog. We have some things we need to do today. First of all, I have some broccoli and some cabbage plants that should have probably gone on the ground a couple days ago, but first we need to prepare our beds. So our compost is actually already built up in the beds. Everything's lined up. We need to go throw some mulch in, but before we throw mulch in, I definitely want to flame weed. Flame weeding gets rid of a lot of the weed growth. It gives you a stale seed bed so that nothing on it can germinate, and the only thing that should grow, now there are going to be a few other weeds, but the only thing that should grow are your plants that you want. So we got a lot of work we got to do today. I want to flame weed, and then I want to throw mulch, and if I have time, I want to plant, or I want to build some more beds. We have potential for 21 beds in this garden, and I've only got like 5 built, and those 5 still need some love. So that's what we're gonna do today. And so, like I've said in the past, or I don't know if I've told this channel this or not, but what I like to do is I like to make beds with 30-inch rows and 12-inch walkways. And in those 12-inch walkways, to prevent weeds from growing up, what I do is I put down some wood chips. And now, I've been trying to find wood chips for about 12 months now, and I haven't been able to find any. But I've gotten to that point now where if I see a truck that has a shredder or a chipper, and a big truck like the 20-yard trucks that they put the chips in, I stop and ask them if they have somewhere to dump it. And it's finally paid off. Got a big pile of wood chips. They brought me some wood too. And then they brought my neighbor another big pile of wood chips. He has pigs, so he needs some wood chips too. And now this flame weeding, you don't have to tear everything up, but you do have to you hit the weeds until they change color. You don't have to sit there until they catch fire, just enough to flame them off and heat them up a little bit. And it basically just stresses them, and then you come back in a day and they're all dead. All right, so when you are doing this, you gotta be careful because sometimes you may cause a little grass fire if the grass is not wet enough. And it's fine, you can come over here and just literally just stomp it out. And then if you really wanna be over precautious, which typically I am, you have a hose nearby and you water everything down after you're done. Once the seeds have been hit and the plants have been hit, you really don't need any embers there, you don't need any fire there, you don't need any heat there. The job is done. It's just a quick once over and you're done. Especially on the outskirts of my grass, because we're like in that transition right now where the grass is starting to come back, but there's also a lot of dead grass and like thistle on the ground and stuff, so that dry stuff wants to burn. So I'm just coming around and I'm just giving everything a quick sprinkle. Just enough to extinguish any embers, because our next step is to put down dry wood chips. And I would hate to come back in like a couple hours and see that my entire garden is up in flames, or, you know, you always got to be precautious of the amount of wind and everything you're dealing with for that day, because it's a windy day, you don't want to be doing that, and embers fly, and if your beds are next to woods, you don't want the woods to catch on fire. And just think about it, use a little common sense. Like I said, your objective is not to char the grass, it's just to sweep it over. And like, here's some green stuff still, but that green stuff is fine. It's already been hit, it's already been stressed out, it'll die. If you come back here in a couple hours even, you'll notice the difference. All right, now is the fun part. I get my 2 5-gallon buckets and a shovel. I don't know if I can carry all this. All right, I got it. And I come over to my wood chip pile. So you want everything to be real close together, because you don't want to have to do this back and forth all day and walk a mile while you're doing it. You'll wear yourself out. We just get over here, get 2 buckets, because if you got 2 hands, you should carry 2 buckets, right? Get some wood chips, go dump them, come back and do it over and over again until all my walkways are filled. All right, so now that we've got everything planted, or not planted, I wish I had everything planted, but now that we've got all of the mulch in the beds and everything flame weeded, it's looking much better. And so I didn't mess with this row right here, because this is a row of mums that I planted early last fall, probably actually at the end of the summer, and they're coming back already, which is great. And then this is just another row that I haven't even worked yet, so I need to put strings on that and get the weeds out and put more compost down and then line them up and put mulch in. But anyway, I only need these 3 rows. We're gonna do sugar snap peas over here, so you can put a big trellis and it's not gonna get in the way of all the sprinklers. This row right here is going to be either broccoli or cabbage, and this row right here is going to be either broccoli or cabbage. And just one more thing I wanted to add before. I have used fishing line in the past, and I've used string in the past to put row markers down. You don't really need to do that. You see all the way over here, I got a bamboo stake in the ground that's movable and a tape measure, and it comes all the way down here. And I just got my tape measure sitting there. And so I can go every 18 inches or 1.5 feet. I have 40-foot rows behind me, okay? So when you're planting things, and right now I only have 25 plants of each. So they're not gonna fill up the entire 40-foot row. My plan last year was to just space them out, give them a little bit more room for each plant. However, that was wrong. What you wanna do is if it says 12 to 18 inches, you wanna put them 12 to 18 inches apart. If you have leftover room on the bed, get more plants, plant later, plant in succession so you have more plants coming throughout the year. Don't space them out, because what that does is that leaves a lot of room for additional weeds to grow in between. Once these plants get big enough, they will suffocate and they will just block all the sun from all the weeds that are trying to come through. And that's the idea. You don't want to give them more room. Give them the amount of room that they need. All right, guys, I got everything I wanted to do today, and that's a rare occasion. But I actually had some help. My sister came and helped me plant some plants, which doesn't sound like a big task, but I had 3 rows, and doing it by myself, it takes twice as long. So she came over and helped me out, and it made it go twice as fast. So got that all done in like maybe a half hour or so. I got my sprinkler up and running now. It's a really simple system. It's just, I don't run in-ground irrigation. I just run a hose to a hose thread on a 1-inch or maybe 3/4 PVC. And then I got a joint here. And that green cap that's on there right now will go off and branch off to another one. And then I'll get another one with a 3-way on it. And that'll branch off to my last one. And 3 sprinkler heads for this garden should be good. These sprinklers, they're bird brain sprinklers. You can find them at Lowe's. That's where I got them. These are a 360 degree, but they also do from 0 feet all the way up to, I think, 30 or 40 feet is what they advertise. They don't reach that far, but because of the wind and everything. But they actually do the job really well. And like I said, it's all PVC. I got some different shut-off valves on here to the hose so I can turn it off here. And then right in the middle, I got some shut-offs for if I just wanted to run 1 block at a time. So I'll have 3 sprinklers in here. If I just want to run the middle one, then I turn off the first one and the last one, and it'll all still run through and get the second one. But I'm gonna let these water for a little bit. I just put them in. We got some cabbage in this row right here, and then we got broccoli, and then we got soybeans, or no, not soybeans, sorry. Sugar snap peas is what I put in. I've never planted them before, and the directions on the package said to put them really close together, like 1.5 inches, and it didn't even say to go back and thin it later. So they're going to be really packed together, and maybe I'll just have a ton of sugar snap peas this year, which is great because they're delicious. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Oh, I guess I'm not done yet. My next step is I have cleared a logging trail, and we're gonna go back there. If you guys have seen my how to create a food plot, last year I went back there, and actually that's on my other channel. I'm gonna have to upload that one on here first before I plant this video. So it'll be the video that's prior to this one. That video that you just saw before this one, I cleared a food plot, and it was an old logging trail, so it was just a bunch of briars, a couple trees in there, but I just brush hogged it all down, and I planted a food plot mix that I got from the store. This year, since my stepdad has a tractor, in the last video, I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but there was a tractor in the last video. I said it was a game changer. That tractor is actually, it belongs to my stepdad, although he has been very gracious and let me use it, so it's been a huge help. But anyway, we got to clear a little bit more land back there. We got a road back there to get a tractor back there, and I was able to till up all the land. So this year, I'm going to start planting a pasture back there. And actually, where that logging trail is, everything towards the back of my property, which is about 3 acres, I eventually want to be a silvo pasture. And that's where we're gonna graze our pigs back there. And we're gonna have to do some management, because I actually just found out through another neighbor that lives back here in the woods that he has seen coyotes, fox, a bobcat, and even a bear back there. He's got all of them on. He's got them all on his cameras back there. He has on food plots or whatever. I don't know what he's got back there. So that's kind of scary. I didn't think about that before, but my plan was to put pigs back there, but we may not be able to put pigs back that far on the property. We may have to just put them right here in these woods. All right, let's go back there and throw some seed. All right, now we're back on this food plot that I cleared a while back, and you can see that I have done a lot of work. I've tilled up everything, cleared a few trees this way, and all the way back there is a path. All these woods back here are gonna be cleared eventually. And it's gonna be about a 3-acre silvo pasture, meaning that there's gonna be trees in the pasture in tall grass because we're gonna run pigs through here is the plan. Hopefully we don't have a predator problem and not have to deal with that. But anyway, I'm planting some seed. I got this seed from Major Seed. Here's their website right here. And by no means am I sponsored by them. I just heard that they had really good product, never used them before, so we're gonna see. I bought enough seed here, and it's a 10-pound bag in that box to plant a 1/2 acre, which I think is way more than what we need. But since we're doing a new start, I think they said they recommend you buy 50% more seed than if you were to overseed, meaning that you already had grass down and you just wanted to add more. So we're gonna put down a very generous portion of seed just to make sure that it does actually take. Another thing you want to think about when you're planting seed is water. Because this is at the back of my property and I would have to get like 600 feet of hose to come back here, which I'm hoping I don't have to do, you need to think about rain. So if you have no water access to where you're planting, make sure you look at the weather forecast and check and see if you're gonna have rain. Ideally, I would like a light rain over like a week's long with some sunshine in between, but I don't think I'm gonna get that. I've been watching the forecast for the last 2 weeks and I really haven't been getting much. However, tonight we're actually supposed to get about 1/4 of an inch, and then I think in 2 days we're supposed to get a little bit more. So I'm hoping that the forecast changes and we get a lot more, but it is what I have, and I just need to get the seed in the ground. They recommend you plant this seed early spring as soon as you can work the soil. My soil has already been worked and we're ready to go pretty much. So here we go. Okay, so I got all the seed put down on the ground. Obviously you're not gonna be able to see that, but I've got this little pallet, and you could take and pull a drag behind your tractor or whatever, 4-wheeler, but I think a drag would disturb the ground too much. So I've got this really lightweight pallet. I'm going to use this to drag it down just to give the seed a little bit of cover. Since I'm planting later in the day, I don't think birds eating the seed is gonna be a huge issue before it gets rain on it, but still after the rain, the birds might come and pull it up. So hopefully I can turn this under just a little bit and I won't lose all my seed, and it can get good soil and absorb all the water. That's all it's doing. It's just scraping on the ground a little bit, maybe even leveling it out a little bit, covering up my tracks. But that's the idea. I just want to put enough dirt back on top of it that it's just gonna cover it a little. That actually worked out a lot better than I was expecting, so now I gotta go pick up my sick kid from daycare. Hey Link, what do you think about all this? You like staying home with Daddy? Yeah. What did we do yesterday? We cut the grass yesterday?
Got grass.
Yeah, that was fun, huh? If anybody's enjoying this, it's him. He's getting to stay home from school, so he's having a lot of fun. It's also driving me a little crazy, but that's a whole nother story.